What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. As you can see, we've got the split screen here and that lovely wheel in the middle. Today, we're going to be playing Wheel of Fragrance, and this is one of my favorite kind of entertainment pieces for FragCom. You know, you guys see reviews all day long, and that stuff's cool and cute. You see the top 5s, top 10s, top 15s, etc. This is something that's going to be a little more entertaining, a little bit educational, but really is going to bring out kind of the personality behind fragrance. A lot of times you guys get all this technical information, and rarely a lot of times do you get use case and the personality behind the choices that get made into picking a fragrance and stuff. So I have a special guest with me today. We've got my boy Chris Siage with me. He's going to get in the hot seat and play Wheel of Fragrance. But before I explain how the game works, which you guys should be fairly familiar, but if it's your first time, don't worry, we're going to go over that for you. Chris, why don't you introduce people to who you are?
I'm Chris Siage, pretty much a fragrance reviewer, just very passionate about fragrances. My just yeah, I have a YouTube channel, I review fragrances on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and just pretty much what everyone else does.
Excellent. And how long you been on YouTube?
Um, about I want to say about 9 months. Started March of this year.
Okay, and I've only been in the space for like 2, 3 months, so we're kind of both first year newbies getting into the game. But he has quite an extensive collection. He goes through a lot of fragrance. I've seen him. I think you even brought your girl on your channel, right?
No, 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 no.
Oh, it wasn't you. It must have been. There's another guy that reminds me of you that I'm gonna find after this show, but he brought his girlfriend on. But
Oh,
yeah, but he has quite a collection, and I really like his reviews because he's very personable, and it's kind of he's similar to me in that he's really just documenting his journey with fragrance and
yeah.
anything that he learns about fragrance. He talks about. Sometimes he changes up and finds has new discoveries and whatnot, and that's just really cool when you feel like you can really jump into somebody's journey and both learn some things and kind of like make a friend out of it. You feel like you're just chilling with him in his room, you know, learning about new stuff and going over the hobby. So I'm really happy to have him on the show. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this game, Wheel of Fragrance, it's quite simple. I have different themes on our wheel. And today, Chris has chosen job edition of the wheel. On this list, I have about, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 different jobs, and they range from common to uncommon. I didn't want to just do typical jobs. Some stuff I wanted you to have to think about. So, for instance, Wall Street executive. You really got to think about that unless you're a Wall Street executive, which you probably wouldn't be on this channel if you were. But you know what I'm saying? It's just something that makes you have to think outside the box and go into your personality more and think of if you even have a fragrance that pertains to that job. And some of them are meant to just be funny. You know what I'm saying? To where, you know, what fragrance would a guy who works under the sewer all day or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think of, so it goes from common to uncommon. And anybody who spins the wheel has 30 seconds to go into their own personal collection. So you can't make any fragrance up that you don't have. You have 30 seconds to grab your fragrance. You come out, you say, hey, I chose this. This is why I think this would go good with that occupation. I'm going to pull up the nerdy information on the wheel screen. You'll see Fragrantica just so you guys can see the notes and see if that might be a fragrance you're interested in or if you've heard of it. Just some extra information to go along with the entertainment of just the game show that we're doing. So Chris is in the hot seat. We're going to guarantee 3 rounds. We might go for 4 to 5, just depends on the speed of everything. And then we'll close out, let him plug his channel and, you know, do our closing remarks of anything. So definitely sound off in the feedback on the comment section on things that you feel like we might need to add to the game or things that you like about the game show, because I'm constantly making little tweaks. This is like a risk I'm taking doing this type of content because I know typically people are used to reviews, but we're definitely all ears in terms of things that you guys might want to see added or subtracted with the Wheel of Fragrance game show. And I have patented this Wheel of Fragrance concept, so it'll be something I'll be able to give out to other people, but we're going to try to make it branded exclusively for this channel. But nonetheless, Chris, you're in the hot seat. We're going to start off with round 1. You got your collection open. I saw you open your cabinets. Are you
Uh,
ready to get busy?
oh yeah.
Okay, guys. So round one, let's spin this wheel.
Oof. All right. What do we got?
Oh, you missed gymnast. So,
Ooh,
pet
pet
store.
store.
Working at a pet
Ooh.
store. I'm going to set up the clock. You have 30 seconds to go. Three, two, one, go.
All right. What a pet store worker. Pet store. I got one. All right. I got it.
Hey, 13 seconds. Not bad for your first round. Okay, tell us what you got for the pet store worker. What you wearing?
I chose something safe. I'm like, what would a pet store worker wear? Like, what is a pet store worker? I don't know. A lot of things went through my head. I chose the original Dolce & Gabbana light blue.
Ooh.
Timeless, classic, doesn't offend anyone.
Okay, and is Dolce& and Gabbana light blue and EDT?
Yes, EDT.
Okay, so tell us. I know you said it was an easy fragrance for you to grab. Go into that bag a little bit more. What's easy about it?
It's just citrusy. I'm gonna spray some right here on the strip. It's just citrusy. Yeah, citrusy, easygoing, sea salt. It won't offend anyone. Honestly, everyone will like this. Either if you're shocked or not, everyone will like it. It won't offend. For on me personally, it projects a lot. A lot of people say they have performance issues, but they still buy it because it smells amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just marine, sea salty, citrusy like. You really can't go wrong with it, especially in hot weather, especially here in Texas. You really cannot go wrong with it.
Yeah, citrus is on woods. I think of other
Yeah.
fragrances like Star Walker from Mont Blanc. I think
Oh,
about Nautica Voyage,
oh,
classic blue, stuff like that. Dolce & Gabbana light blue definitely seems in that category of just fresh out of the shower, easy wear. I mean, citrus on woods, you really can't go wrong. Like 50-60% of all fragrance has that type of DNA structure in it where it's some citrus, touch of floral, sitting on woods. On the top here, we have Sicilian lemon, apple, cedar, bellflower. Mid, we got bamboo, jasmine, white rose. And in the base, we got cedar, musk, and amber. How many sprays you put into this on?
ooh, that's a really good question. If you've seen my video on how to apply fragrances, you know I'm a heavy hitter. Especially with this one since it's light. I won't lie, I probably go around 20. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you reapply it at all, or do you just go all in one in the morning and then call it a day?
Honestly, all in one in the morning and I call it a day. But if I like come home or something and I'm here and I'm gonna go back out, I will reapply. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. Listen, man, some
Yeah.
fragrances are so smooth that
Mhm.
more sprays doesn't necessarily equal like more power and projection. It just kind of solidifies the longevity of the fragrance. Especially, I mean,
Yeah.
every fragrance as you start to, blow out the trigger finger on it, yeah, you
Yeah.
might smell crazy for like 30 seconds, but as soon as you go outside for like a minute or two, it all settles and it pretty much smells the same way. And in my experience with light blue, it's fairly linear, but
Yeah.
so you can kind of just get away with packing it on. How much does this fragrance run? Because I think it comes in and out of discounters, doesn't it? Like your Rosses, your TJ Maxxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is my second bottle. The first bottle, this is when I was first getting into fragrances. I made the mistake of buying it at Ulta for like $80. Everybody
Ooh.
laughed at me. I know, everybody laughed at me. Please, I deserve it. But the second time I bought it, 3.4 ounce, I think it ran me like, I got it on a good deal for like $36, I think.
Okay. Now, just for some extra information, since this is your first time on the channel, what are your typical places where you get your deals on fragrance?
Oh, so I go to Joma Shop, Aura Fragrance, and Fragrance Buy. Those three.
Okay, Fragrance by CA. Okay,
Fragrance by
perfect.
CA. Yeah. Aura Fragrance is a really good website. It's honestly the cheapest out of the three. I know they have like a warehouse, a store here in Houston, so it kind of gets here quick.
Okay. Nice. And I think right now Canada's on like a worker union strike or something. So I think you can't even order on Fragrance by CA for a while, which is kind of depressing because
Oh,
they're not shipping out of there as quickly. You're on a huge delay. But I agree. Fragrance by CA is probably one of the best pricings, both on clones, dupes, and inspireds, which they have a lot of inventory there, but even on name brand stuff, they have quite a deep bag. They're one of the best warehouses for ordering, afford being able to spend like 150 bucks, swoop up like 4 to 7 100 ml bottles of pretty much whatever you want. So yeah, that's
100.
awesome. Any final thoughts on that light blue? I think you kind of went through everything.
Yeah, I think honestly, fun fact, this is like my most complimented fragrance out of my whole collection. This really is.
Wow.
I don't know what it is about my skin. It just projects and works so well, and it just smells amazing on me. I guess I'm lucky. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
Take,
this right now. I think people will compliment the heck out of you in a pet store for sure, because a pet store, you're gonna be smelling cats and dogs and kitty
oh
litter
yeah,
and all that stuff. So a nice, fresh, aromatic citrus fragrance will definitely kind of take people out of the fact that they're in a pet store.
oh 100%. At that point, anything would smell good.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Okay, well, hey, you made it through round one. You survived. It looks like you're gonna do just fine today. You ready for round two?
ready.
All right, round two. Let's spin this thing. Oh, this is a goodie.
Ooh, what would it?
Chef.
Oh, chef.
Okay, I've got the clock set. Three,
Oh,
two, one, go.
it have to be something like gourmand. I don't know. Um. Okay. I think I got it.
Okay, stop. We are on 23 seconds. Not bad. Okay, so what you got for us?
Okay, when I think chef, I think Gordon Ramsay, Marco Pierre White. They're rich, elegant, So I would feel they're in the kitchen. They don't want to wear anything too offensive, too crazy, but they still want to smell.
Top notch.
Yeah. So I went with L'Homme Ideal by Guerlain.
Ooh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell us why you picked that one.
So really pretty much because of from what I said, they still want to smell good. They're in the kitchen, they're cooking food. They don't want to be too overpowering, wearing something like, Sauvage Elixir or tobacco, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this has decent, projection, good performance, but it's definitely not an offender. It won't like project like 30 feet, it won't, definitely won't. But it
Yeah.
smells elegant, has that almond note. I can kind of put that with the chef.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just elegant. Chefs, I would imagine, do really good in life. Don't worry financially. So, yeah.
Now, there's four different versions of L'Homme Ideal. We have Eau de Parfum, we have L'Homme Ideal Extreme, L'Homme Ideal Parfum, and L'Homme Ideal, which I believe will probably be in either an EDT or EDP. Which one do you have?
The EDT, the original.
The original. So I believe that's this one.
Yes. If it
And
looks the same.
And on the top notes, we have citrus, orange blossom, rosemary. I love that note, and bitter orange. In the mid, we have almond and tonka bean. And in the base, we have leather, cedar, and one of my favorite notes of all time, vetiver. So,
Ooh.
so if you were to kind of like, if you were describing this fragrance to like a teenager or something, and you had to be ultra simple, give me two or three notes that stand out in that fragrance.
Almond, orange, and cedar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I love that you said Marco Pierre White, man. Like that
Yeah.
you're going, I can see you watch some TV. That's like one of my favorite chefs.
Yeah.
He definitely is like a funny figure. Like he's very interesting. He's
Oh
kind of like
yeah.
the bad boy of chefs.
Oh
Um
yeah.
and surprisingly, I've put my nose, I probably have about 200-300 fragrances in my collection. I probably have about 200 samples, and I've not put my nose on Ideal or Ideal Extreme
Oh
yet.
man. What are you doing, man? You got
I have it loaded up in several carts online, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet to put my nose on it. But I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, especially with Ideal Extreme. So I
Mm.
definitely need to put my nose on that. But I think that's an awesome choice because it's got kind of some familiar food notes, with the citrus and the almond. Probably it's got a little bit of sweetness, but then it's sophisticated. It's leather sitting on woods, but then that vetiver kind of might sophisticate it, make it smell a little more classy. And,
Okay.
I think all of those are traits that a chef would want to carry with them in the kitchen. And I think those notes are also distinct enough to where when you have food all in the air, those still might kind of cut through for you, which is what you want. You don't want to feel like it's transforming the scent into something that it's not. So I like that choice a lot. How much did that fragrance run you?
If I remember correctly, I ordered it. I think I ordered it off Aura Fragrance. Yeah. And it ran me about $60.
Okay, so very affordable.
Very, yeah. That's why I
Um,
bought it because I was like, I always remembered them as being like pretty up there in the price, but I saw that one, I was like, oh, haven't smelled it. 60, I'll buy it.
That's awesome. And last question for this is, we talked about the chef, which is probably going to be an older gentleman, maybe like
Yeah.
25 and up or something like that. Could somebody under 25, like high school or just getting into college, rock a fragrance like this?
I'd say getting into college, yes, but if you're in high school, if you like it, wear it. But if you are just kind of like that typical high school boy and wants compliments, I wouldn't wear this. Honestly, I wouldn't pick this up.
You think it might put too much hair on a chest of somebody in high school?
I think so, yeah. I think it's more of a mature type of scent. This isn't any Sauvage or Eros.
The sweet bombs.
Yeah, the speed bombs. Yeah, it's none of those.
For
Nothing to
sure.
do.
Awesome. Well, hey, appreciate that recommendation for all y'all out there. Definitely check out L'Homme Ideal from Guerlain, running around a $60 price point on 100 ml. And this is the eau de toilette that he was speaking on. Okay, so you ready for round three?
Ready.
Okay, let's see what we can get. Oh, is it going to stay? Psychiatrist.
Ooh, okay.
All
This is
right,
gonna
buddy.
be weird.
You need to get in your bag. I got 30 seconds queued up. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Let's do this.
I'd love to see your guys' choices in the chat. Make sure on the comment section if there was a particular fragrance you'd recommend. Go ahead and put that in the comment section later on if you want to put people on to fragrances that would go well with this type of occupation. You never know who you might help out with that. Are we done?
I think I got it. I
All
feel like I
right.
might have messed up, but I think I got it.
Okay, we hit 28 seconds, so you're in the safe zone here. What you got for us?
Okay. I chose. I was choosing between Your Own 2020 but I went with this one.
Ooh, Encre Noir Sport.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you definitely got to break this down for us. What put you onto that one?
So again, I was thinking sophistication, wealthy. Psychiatrists, I know they make a good amount of money.
They do.
So I was thinking, sophistication, uh, obviously wears more formal clothes and, deals with people, I guess. So I thought, okay, Encre Noir, it's kind of a polarizing line, but I think sport is the most smooth, most mass appealing, if you will. Um, so that's why I went with it. I was like, they deal with people. This won't offend anyone. It is pretty mature, very sophisticated. It's, Encre Noir. It still has that Encre Noir DNA, but it's a sport version, like the name says, so it's fresher. Um, definitely more fresher, more. I guess it adds a little bit of life to that dark, dry scent.
Yeah, and for those of you who guys who don't know, so this is a fragrance where vetiver is the star note in the fragrance, and this is a part of kind of what people call the trinity of vetiver. You have Encre Noir OG, which kind of has, for those of you who don't know, vetiver can take on a lot of different forms. It can smell inky, earthy, grassy, clean and soapy, a lot of different forms, woody. And in the trio, you have Encre Noir OG, which is like the black, inky fragrance of death. You have Encre Noir Sport, which is really just used to signify that it's a more wearable vetiver. So rather than it just being super dark or earthy, you have more of this fresher take on it. They added, I believe, grapefruit in it. Let me check the notes real quick. Grapefruit and bergamot. So that plus the cypress really bounce off of the vetiver and give it a little more invigorating out of the shower type of feel to it. But
Mm.
it's still very sophisticated with all of the vetiver, bourbon vetiver, Haitian vetiver, cashmere wood, and musk. That really does give like almost this earthy bite to the vetiver. Not necessarily like a carbonated bite, but just more of like a earthy, like I almost say grassy type of bite, like a plant bite to it. I think that is based off the vetiver, and the grapefruit and cypress are pungent. You know what I'm saying? So, but it definitely smells cleaner than all of them. And then you have Encre Noir a la Extreme, which is more of your burnt pencil shavings, your burnt wood by the fireplace embers type of fragrance. So this is definitely going to be your more fresh and, like Chris said, more commercial take on it. And they certainly designed it to be that way.
Yeah.
Lalique, the house that makes this fragrance, the perfumer loves to make vetiver a star note. Like if you go Lalique white, Lalique black, black and, or white and black,
Oh yeah.
Ecus, Lalique pour homme, or the three of these Encre Noirs, they all pretty much have a star note of vetiver. And I tell people a lot of times it doesn't matter how the vetiver comes through in terms of the note style that they went for with it. It always sophisticates a fragrance for me. I almost never smell a fragrance with vetiver that's like simple. It might be a simple like DNA style, but it still maintains this kind of classy manliness that a lot of fragrance, even like Elysium, a fragrance that's more sweet citrusy with the vetiver in the base, it makes Elysium ramp up in the sophistication aspect of it. And so, that definitely, I mean, it absolutely works for a psychiatrist. What do you think?
I think so, yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, it's literally like a inky vetiver that's freshened up. Literally
Mm-hmm.
like life blown into it. I think that's just perfect. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that will run you anywhere from $20 to $30 for 100 ml. Nice little classy bottle presentation, super affordable. It's also a fragrance that like you're not really gonna find in a TJ Maxx or a Ross, but any website, name brand or not, if it's a clone site or if it's a standard Joma shop or something like that, Fragrance Net, anywhere is going to carry this for sure. And you can just get an incredible price. Pretty much anything in the La Leak line, not anything, but a lot of their fragrances sit under like $35 for a price point. So they're known for having cheaper fragrances that still work on classy men, and they all have little nuances, but vetivers oftentimes running the show on a lot of these to just make some version of sophisticated manliness. But yeah, last question for this. Where do you wear this fragrance personally?
Ooh, okay. So I did go through a little phase with it when I bought it a couple months back. Like beginning of this year I bought it, like February. Honestly, I wore it in kind of those fresh kind of spring days and even beginning of the summer. I definitely wore it. Uh, just going out, really. Going out, I put on sprays and I just wore it and I just really liked the smell of it. I kind of in those times I was like, I don't care about any compliments. I just really love this. I'm gonna wear it. And I
Mm-hmm.
just a good wear, honestly. Like I smelled it on me like throughout the day. It's a very good wear.
And I think, so you used it more like casually.
Yeah.
And I think like this is also a fragrance where things like fruits and, different variations of citrus, even some florals even really could be layered with a fragrance like this. It's simple enough to where if you want it to be more fruity and have less bite, you could certainly do that. If you want it to have more freshness than it already has, you can put something more floral based next to it. You know what I'm saying? Like even like light blue, for instance. Yeah. We were think great minds think alike.
Yeah.
So you could definitely, if it's too mature for you, scale it to a different type of either playfulness or freshness. You could ramp that up either via citruses or sweet fruits or florals. Um, and I think it could rock very nice for you. Even something like incense or something,
Oh yeah.
you could certainly take it that direction too. But that's a great pick, man. We got through round 4. I'm noticing we're hitting quite, we're up there on the clock here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one more last round and then we're going to close out for you guys. But I really like the picks that you've done so far because you're putting people onto some common, some slightly common fragrances. But I think we're putting light on great fragrances nonetheless. So without
I'm
further ado, we're going to hit the final round. And are you ready?
ready.
All right, Chris, let's spin that last round for the wheel. Naturopathic doctor. So this
What
is
is
a doctor who's not really into prescription medicines. This is the guy that's going to recommend the all natural type of stuff that you can take. And yeah, so hopefully that's helpful for you. I wanted to break that down. You have 30 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go.
okay? I got it.
All right.
I
Hey, very quick on that one. You hit the 20-second mark, man. What you got for us?
okay. I really took natural into consideration. I really
Okay.
did. So I chose Ferragamo bright leather.
Ooh.
That's what I chose. Bright leather.
Beautiful. Okay, tell us why you chose bright leather.
Okay, so this to me, I am in love with this, and this is like one of my favorites right now. Maybe forever. Beautiful atomizer, by the way. Maybe forever. Beautiful bottle too. This smells like literally like bright leather, blonde leather with lime, with like lime peels. That's literally what it smells like to me. Lime peels with like blonde leather, super fresh, bit floral. That's what it smells like to me. So I think natural. He wants to give you natural remedies. So he'll go like, make, I don't know, something with like fruits and all that stuff. He
Yeah,
won't give you prescription medicine. He'll give you, he'll smell like this. If he wants to give you natural things, he'll smell natural.
absolutely. I love everything about Ferragamo bright leather. I love the
Oh yeah.
price. I love the
Yeah.
bottle presentation. I love the atomizer. I love the DNA. I always tell people it's very hard, at least in my personal fragrance journey, to find leathers that work in spring and summer.
Mm.
And it's also the reason for that is because most leathers kind of either kind of paint this picture of what you think somebody would wear for leather, which is like cowboy, leather jacket,
Yeah.
motorcycle rider, rough around the edges, bad boy type of vibe. And
Yeah.
so they're very pungent and like they demand attention. Sometimes the animalic nature of them can
Yeah.
also play into that type of vibe. What's great about Ferragamo is the way they've treated the leather is so fresh and they didn't make leather the dominant note profile even though it's still dominant. It's like they maybe ramped it up like 40-50% of leather, but then they equally counterbalanced it with just a ton of citrus and
Yeah.
even earthiness. The
Yeah.
freshness of the leather isn't animalic as much as it is just like earthy fresh and aromatic. So you just get this bright lime on this super fresh cut of leather, and then below that you get some sense of like sophistication and class.
Yeah.
Um, Let's go through the note combination real quick. In the top, we have bergamot, orange, and grapefruit. There's all that citrus counterbalancing it. In the middle, and I think this plays to the sophistication, leather, obviously, but rosemary and basil. So
Oh yeah.
that gives some dimension to the citrus so that you're not just getting bergamot, but you're getting kind of this floral green earthiness for the backbone. And then in the base, here's the extra ramp up of earthiness and backbone with musk, cedar, and patchouli for that earthiness. Um, I can't say enough about bright leather because of the price, because of the sophistication, because of the uniqueness that it's such a commercially wearable leather that still doesn't smell basic. but it's so invigorating enough to where even if you're a really young guy, I think it could still rock as well because there's this fresh aromatic quality to it to where even though it's obvious that leather is a part of the fragrance, it's not such a star of the show. Like it plays a key role in the movie, but there's some other things going on that don't make it feel like older man. It's versatile. It can go both ways there, and the fact that you can wear it in spring and summer. I mean, and it's also such a nice, vibrant smell that this is like you could go 5 sprays, you could go 10 sprays, you could go 15. The DNA is so solid that you're just adding to performance. You're not changing the DNA with more sprays. So if you're outdoors, go north of 10 and have a ball. If you're indoors, you could still do the same thing, but you could ramp down, maybe 5 to 10 sprays and call it a day. You're going to smell the exact same. Um, I wear this fragrance personally casually, like slightly upscale casual. I can wear it in the office. I can wear it as like a casual but still have a classiness to like a simple date with my girl. You can wear it in the workplace because it has good signature, but it's not so loud that it's distracting. It's just one of those fragrances people catch a waft of it by you and they go, "Oh wow, like this guy's just pleasant to be around."
Yeah.
So it checks all of the boxes to just be a great fragrance. Anything else that you would add about it, like as far as your personal wearing experience with it?
Um, I think it's just I haven't got a compliment yet, but just mainly even better than compliments. It's just a really good wear. Like you smell it, you just think, what smells so good? Oh yeah, it's me. I'm wearing bright. It's this.
That's a
I'm wearing bright.
fact.
Yeah, I'm wearing bright leather. Of course it's me. And it's just this honestly is a must. You have to. It's just good price, beautiful bottle, beautiful atomizer, really honestly a unique smell, and it's just versatility through the roof. Like everything about this honestly is just perfect. It's just why not?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's a must-have for your collection. And for those of you who guys who have bought leather fragrances, like say you go the clone route and you do something like off and on rare carbon, or
Mm.
say you went upscale and did like ombre leather or Toscano leather or one of the clones. Um, this is going to give you a whole different experience. I don't care whether those fragrances are good or bad. We could debate them all day long, but I think I was just talking about vetiver sensual the other day, how it's like one of the most wearable vetivers of all time. No one really debates how good that fragrance is. This is similar. Like bright leather is one where it doesn't matter if you like leather fragrances or not, you will totally appreciate the different type of experience that it makes you appreciate leather. Like, and I think it puts leather in its proper place in terms of how much of it should show up in a fragrance because it normally when a leather fragrance is there, leather is the star and it just makes you think about the leather. This fragrance projects in such a way where you think about the sophistication, you think about the citruses, and like Chris said, you wear it, it makes you happy. You
Yep.
feel like a man, you feel invigorating, you feel happy. It's a I tell people fragrance does different things. It can change a room. It's a vibe creator. Sometimes it's a statement maker. Sometimes it's a personality piece. And we wear fragrances in all different combinations for a mixture of those reasons. But this fragrance, honestly, is a mood lifter. When you wear it, you smell it, you're going around, it makes you feel awesome. And I know that people love it. I've gotten a couple compliments with it. To be honest, if I wore it more around more people, I would probably get more compliments. But nonetheless, I always feel good when I wear it. And I think you guys will too. And for the price, I think you can spend around 20-30 bucks and get the 30 to 50 ml. And for going up to 100, you probably won't spend north of like 40-45ish bucks, especially on discounters. Basil is in it as well. Those of you guys know I like the Jimmy Choo Man line, which has a star note. of that as well as La Nuit de l'Homme and YSL L'Homme Original EDT. So basil is just an awesome note to use as well because it plays the, especially with rosemary here, you get green, but then you also get like floral, you get earthy, and when that goes up against citrus, it gives. Oftentimes, I find that so many fragrances have citrus on woods that it's hard to make a case for why you should have multiple fragrances like that because they all kind of wind up smelling the same. But here, this is a fragrance that's citrus on woods, but with the basil, rosemary, and leather, takes it to a different place. And it takes a note profile you're very familiar with and goes somewhere else with it in the form of, to me, classy man, invigorating, sophistication with citrus type of vibes. So it's a mood lifter for sure. And it's a phenomenal fragrance that, again, I think checks all the right boxes. And for the case of a naturopathic doctor, to me, makes all the sense in the world. He's following the rules. He's doing things ethical. And that was a great pick. Dude, Chris, we appreciate you for being on this episode of Wheel of Fragrance. Guys, we need your participation. Let me know if you have any of these fragrances Chris has picked. Also, for each of the jobs that he had to go through, what would you pick or what would you wear if that was you in that situation? Let's get some conversation started on the comment section in here. And also, again, your feedback is always welcome. Chris, before we close out here, any final thoughts? Also, please plug your channel so that everybody can find you, your socials, your YouTube, etc.
Yeah, I'm Chris Siage on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, on all three, the same, Chris Siage. And yeah, final thoughts. I'm just, so happy to be here. I had lots of fun. I would love to come back and yeah, happy. Thank you so much for having me. Really, was really fun. I really like, I like this, the collaboration and like kind of just making stuff, content together and sharing ideas and everything. I love it very much.
Awesome, man. Hey guys, go check out Chris Siage's channel. Like I said, he's a great personality. He's got a great bag of fragrances. He posts content frequently and he's on the grind like me. We're fairly new channels, but we crank out a lot of great content. And I think you're just going to get a ton of value and a ton of like easy to ride to in the car type of content from his channel. So definitely make sure I'll post his links in the description below the same way I do everybody so that you guys can find him and his content very conveniently. But yeah, he's just an awesome guy. I wanted to reach out to him immediately when I saw his content and this has been in the making. So I'm glad to finally have him on the channel and this definitely won't be his last time. So guys, the Scent Bubble, Chris Siage, Wheel of Fragrance. We appreciate you guys for joining us. And until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.